Valdez asked me if it felt like at this stage, June 6, 2024, there was more hype surrounding Jayden Daniels than at the same stage, which would have been June 6, 2012, with RG3. So, Landfill, I posed that question to you first.
No.
That's one vote no. You care to expand?
I mean, RG3 was in national TV commercials, and we all absolutely lost our minds when they made the trade for the second overall pick. It's not comparable. It's not even close.
Okay. Jeffrey?
I have to agree with Landfill. RG3 was everywhere, and even the fan base was like, we just knew he was the second comings of Jesus Christ when he got when he got drafted. This one seems more like our fan base matured a little bit, as in the process of thinking like, okay, let's see how this is about to go, but we are ready to unleash the Ashburn syndrome. I'm telling you, it's not happening now, but week 1, week 2, he go off. I think
But I
the
kind of look
city
at it a
gonna
little
explode.
differently.
All right,
I
Brian.
think that all the stuff that we were tripping, like Landfill say, RG3 was everywhere. We weren't talking about the football per se. We were talking about all the commercials and everything else he was doing. Everything about Jayden Daniels has been what he's doing on the football field. So when you focus on what's vitally important, I think that the people, like you said, they're matured. They are hyped about his true athletic capabilities, not about all the commercials and all that other stuff. So it's probably as exciting as it is for Robert, but we're talking about what can make a difference and not necessarily all the commercials and all the hype and all the little sayings. This dude is more about I'm handling my job. So I hear fans talking about his play, his maturity level. I think they're tuned into something different than it was with Robert. And then the whole thing with Robert too, the trade, as you said, got us hyped. But then when you start hearing who wanted the trade and who didn't want the trade, you started to get concerned at that point, right?
So I think this is damn near Haley's comment, where we're all four of us, and we're all four very different people, kind of in agreement here. I think there was far significant hype with Robert, and I think a lot of that was who Robert is. Like he likes the spotlight. Like he's a social media wasn't the thing it is now then, but the commercials, the Adidas, the Subway. Remember Subway made a meat statue of Robert's face? Do you remember that? Like, and I don't want to put it all on Robert either, because I think the organization at that point cared far more about marketing, ticket sales, jersey sales, whatever that was.
We can say organization.
Than
Dan
football.
Snyder cared more about all that stuff, and that's what he presented.
Right.
What he made his place too.
And I think the organization now is running things very differently. When's the last time Jayden Daniels spoke to the media? I think it was after rookie minicamp.
It's like what
Robert talked every session.
He talked every session, but ultimately,
and they controlled that.
Jayden will start talking a lot once the season starts.
He'll have to talk every Wednesday.
But the ultimate thing is, they are now focused on what's important and what's right, and I think that should be our concern too. That these people don't seem to be caring about the hype machine, because I've said it over time and time again. If you win football games, the hype is going to come. You know, you have to force hype in the NFL. Unless you're losing.
I think, interestingly, Harris's experience owning an NBA team and owning an NBA team that's dealt with James Harden and Ben Simmons and Markelle Fultz, like the NBA regular season anyway, is more about hype and sizzle than steak ever. You know what I mean? And I think he understands that there's not much good to come from all that
I think
stuff.
If you look at Josh Harris and you watch him, okay, a man who was worth billions, who get with some guys and purchase a team for $6 billion, but when you see him, he's the most unassuming guy in the world. That right there is the reason he's like he is. I don't think the ownership of the Sixers, because when he was with the Sixers, well, while he's still with them, you don't hear a lot about him.
Right.
You hear about the team and the people that are running the team. So his personality is not that of, I have to be involved with stuff and hyped up and want to promote. No. He said, "I'm gonna build things a certain way. I'm gonna get what it say, like the edges. I'm
Win on
gonna
the edges.
I'm gonna win on the edges." So he's trying to make sure he put everything in place so he can have success. That's how you run a business.
Landfill, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I think the actual biggest difference between RG3 and Jayden Daniels is the organization, but not because of the marketing. Because when Dan Snyder was running things, we all understood that team, the only possible way that it was going to be successful was if we won the lottery and we somehow managed to get the most dominant quarterback in the game. That was the only possible way that was going to be successful. And we thought that there was a decent chance that that could be RG3. And at times in his rookie year, he looked like that. But now with the Harris group and Adam Peters and Jayden Daniels, I think these people are competent. And even if Jayden Daniels ends up not working out, that would suck, but they'll recover from it. It won't be like, well, that was our 1 in a million chance and it's gone now. We'll have other opportunities.
To that point, I mean, maybe you could feel that way about Peters specifically, because look what happened in San Fran. They went all in on Trey Lance. It was a complete bust, and we can argue who was to blame, whatever, but they took another kid and it worked because they had depth everywhere. They had good coaching. Like, you're right. The only way they were ever going to win under Dan was hit a lottery ticket. Get Mahomes, get Burrow, something like that. And I'll never forget watching. And we can argue what Justin Herbert is or isn't, right? But I'll never forget his rookie season. That was pretty damn electric. I think he broke the rookie touchdown pass record. Watching a Monday night game with my wife, and it was Herbert playing, and she's like, "Could the Redskins have gotten that guy?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Man, he's good." I was like, "Yeah." She's
That
like,
was around the Trent time, though. I mean, the Chase.
but she's like, "He probably wouldn't be good here, though." Like, that was like kind of,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, things just didn't go right, and I think things feel very differently now than they did. But Valdez made a secondary point that I want to explore, because I think we all agree that the Robert hype train was its own freaking entity. Not that there isn't, to Jeff's point, a ton of excitement surrounding Jayden, but it's entirely different. And they're just different people, which I think is a really big part of it. Jayden's pretty calm, quiet. Like, think about the community day of service you acted in and I covered, right? And Jayden was there and was happy to talk to the kids. He signed autographs. He was throwing footballs with the kids, but he was kind of like chill not quite in the corner, but like he didn't need to be the center of attention. If Robert was at that event, how much different would that event have gone? You know what I mean?
More than likely, Robert wouldn't have been at that event.
Right. But I'm saying,
but the whole
that event, his rookie season, Robert is a dude that gravitates towards the spotlight. I think Jayden likes his performance to speak for himself.
Ultimately, the people that chose Robert knew that was his personality.
Sure.
And I think that's where you come from.
And celebrated it.
And they promoted that.
Yeah.
Because you know what? They were making dollars off the field, as they say.
Now, there is something going on now that is an interesting confluence of events. I think because of the success CJ Stroud had last year, people are looking at rookie quarterbacks through a lens that they can step in and change organizations right away. I think Stroud's a big part of that.
Yeah.
I also think we live in this era of make the loudest, most outlandish take first. And if you are proven wrong, everybody forgets about it. But if you're right, you get to stand on that and collect clout via social media and whatever platforms you engage upon. And because of that, I do think there is more hype about this rookie class of quarterbacks. Like, no quarterback class should be compared to 1983 until they play a little bit.
Yeah, but that's how we promote stuff. We promote stuff by finding the best of the best, and we promote the next. And this was a class full of our talent, and they're gonna promote it. But the ultimate thing is still come down to what you actually do. And it's the first time for everything. We always said it was impossible. What CJ Stroud did, he's now shown that it's possible. And the next guy that does it is going to have to be totally dedicated.
The last quarterback class that got this level of hype, 2021, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones. How'd that work out?